Hi everybody, it's Paul Reed Smith. We're at the PRS factory and we have the honor of having Rene Martinez in here. Rene, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, Paul. Nice for having me here.
Look, when we decided to design and work with John Mayer on this Silver Sky model, when we were close to getting it done, I had asked John, could we get Rene to come here and talk about the guitar from a tech point of view? Because to me, there are so many things that you have to make sure are right when he's on stage, otherwise he's got a real problem. It's got to stay in tune, it's got to play in tune, it's got to have good signal noise ratio, it's got to not buzz, the pickups have to work, the jack has to work, the jack plate's got to work, everything about this guitar has got to work. And you've been working on these three pickup bolt-on neck guitars your whole career, and I wanted to try to talk to you and have you talk to everybody about what it is about this that you like, what you don't like, whatever it is there is. And I remember that we just get started, something about this jack plate tickled your fancy, and what the hell was that about?
Oh man, I tell you, when I first saw this, it's like, look at this, dude. This is awesome.
Why?
You know, because it's just cool. It's got this bubble on it and everything. And then the other thing, after you look at it, you know, cosmetically, you can get this guy out so much easier, you know? But that starts it off right there.
So what about the guitar works for you? What about the guitar doesn't work for you? What about this thing, this Silver Sky? Did you notice that you were the first one to hand these guitars to John on tour for him to play live, and nobody had ever seen him before. What did you think?
Well, the first thing I thought about was how it felt. And that's number one. It's got to feel right. It's got to feel good and putting it on with the strap and holding it in your hand. And this one here in particular, the neck on it has got to feel good. It just can't feel, you know, okay. No, it's got to feel good. And it feels good all the way up and down. I can say a word like it feels, this is the best feeling guitar, but that to me is just another kind of word. Good is the better word to use. It just feels good everywhere.
Well, we tried to make it feel like the same neck over the whole thing. And
exactly.
We split the difference between what a 63 and a 64 carve was, and I think we got that.
I think so.
Yeah.
And more so than that, you got it the way that he likes it. That's the important thing. If he likes it, then the guitar player is going to be playing the guitar.
Oh, fair enough.
It's going to be fun to play. It's not going to be like, okay, now I got to learn how to play this guitar. Okay.
Yeah.
This is not the case here. The neck feels good, and then this feels good. This actual bending of the string. To me, that's how it is. Because when I do John's guitars, it's a matter of playing it. I got to play it in order for it to sound good to me, so that I can say, okay, go for it. You know?
Okay, so you know the early prototypes that you had out had flatter radiuses. They were like 8.5, and then we went to 8.25, and finally we got it all the way to 7.25, which was the radius he was comfortable with.
Right.
And my experience of those is that when you bend a string and the action's too low, it'll buzz out. But this one somehow, with the frets being as level as is not having that problem. You haven't had any problems with it buzzing?
No problem at all. And John likes a fairly low action. And it would only be numbers to tell you as to what that really is.
Yeah,
you know?
well, he does like low action.
But he does like low action. But now, and you've taught him this too. You know, you taught him how to look at and feeling the gauge of it. You know, and that's what I use. I use a gauge to measure the heights of it. And if you have it there, then this thing here go everywhere.
He would call me up and go, okay, I got a ruler marked off in 30 seconds an inch. How do I adjust the truss rod? How do I do this? And try to guide him through the whole thing. What about the pickups, Rene? What was your experience of those? Well,
that's the thing. They got to sound good to the ear. They got to sound relative to a single coil that you're used to playing with. And if you can do that, then everything becomes nothing. Again, I got to say the word, it becomes fun. And when it's fun to play, then it's got the tonality of it. Okay, so they sound like John to me. They have that total sound of, it's not like this guitar or that guitar. This sounds like me, and this sounds good, and they sound good in all. And you got 5 different tones is the way I usually do it.
5 distinct tones.
5 real distinct tones, with the way it should be for a single coil pickup guitar. That's what I like about these pickups, is that they work, and they work according to what he likes to do, what he sounds like, and it's unique.
All right, so from my point of view, we wanted to put the same pickups in all 3 positions, and without putting different amounts of turns on them, because the guitars he's been used to have the same amount of turns. Yeah. The problem is very often the treble pickup is sound like an ice pick. Right. We knew we had it right when all 3 pickups sounded really, really good. I wanted to be able to use the bass pickup for solos and the treble pickup for rhythm and all those in-between sounds. Right. seemed for us to fall into place when we got the pickups right. That was a long journey, as you know.
Oh,
you
yeah.
got, what, 8 sets of prototypes until we were happy, something like that?
Yeah, but then that's what it takes to do it right.
Yeah, well.
You know, you got to do it. You're the one that had to deal with it. I just had to listen to it. I had the easy part, you know. But you did it, you know. And I'll say it again, you nailed it.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. What you don't know is the last prototypes, we would have to go through 10 pickups to get 3 that we knew he would like, and now all the ones that are coming off the machines today that you saw here in the factory we're not having to sift through them anymore. We've got it right.
You got it right, yeah.
So Rene, let's talk about the bridge a little bit.
Okay.
We spent a lot of time retooling this so that you wouldn't have any troubles, not just as a tech working on the guitars, but so the musicians wouldn't have any troubles and we would get that old sound. So far, so good?
So far, so good. Everything's working great.
All right, great.
The bridge is good because it feels comfortable when you go up and down. Just like it's supposed to. Nothing more than that. You know, the knife edge works fine, and all the strings stay right here where they're supposed to. The evenness of the saddles with the string spacing from here to here, it just feels comfortable with the neck. And if you do these right, if you put them over and just touch down here, that's a tech thing I got to talk about. If you do this, push down on the string, then they'll be in tune. They'll be in tune much better, especially if you're using that.
All right, so and then we did this, which is a PRS thing where the arm comes out, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's a screw-on thing, you know, but it's so tight, it feels great.
All right, good.
And then out of the way, here it is, out of the way, there it is where you want it there. And then just easy to get out of the way. And if you didn't want it, you just pull it right out, you know?
So we retooled the knobs, we retooled the switch,
Yes.
we retooled the pick guard, we retooled the body.
Right.
We've got a different color in all the horns so that thing sticks out from a distance.
Yes.
We made the birds smaller, which we retooled.
Right.
The whole neck headstock tuning peg thing was retooled. Are you happy with the tuning pegs?
Yep.
I mean, it's 3 on the side. It's not 6 on the side. Was that fine with you?
Yeah, I'm really fine with that. But first, before I go there, I just want to tell you about this. I really like the design of this button here. That goes
Why?
on well, because you can, when you put your finger on it, you got a lot more mass with your finger, and you can move it up. Whereas the rounded one, sometimes it'll slip off. That's just me. That's how I felt about it. But this one's not like that. This one's easy. It gets it, and you're dead on. Mm-hmm. So that I like there. This is unique. It's different. It's got the, you know, the
dome on it.
Yeah, the dome on it. It's kind of like this here, but it's just different, you know. And that's what's cool about it. The machines here are fine. They got the lock tuning. I like that thumb screw and everything. These are wide enough here. They go great for the tuner. It just feels good in putting it on. But you don't have to use much winding here because of these machines, you know. These are the lockdown. Yeah. And that's what you want for better staying in tune, the least amount of string hanging out. The better.
We also put the truss rod adjustment up on the headstock so that you didn't have the problem down here, right?
Yeah, sometimes, well, from the other guitar, you know, you got to take the neck off. You got to.
Did you have to take the neck off to change the truss rod adjustment?
Yeah, I had to do that and everything, you know. I mean, then, you know, I need my guitar. I say, I'll be with you in about a day or two, okay? No, and this makes it easier. It's just bam, take it off, straighten it out, you know, loosen the strings, tighten it, whatever you got to do, and then you're there, you know. Right, cool. And it stays straight. It's not like, you know, some where they're, no, it's like as straight as an arrow. Perfect. So that's what I like about it all right now. Right now, it's just a tech-friendly instrument for me, you know. And I hate to fight with something. If it works, then we can get the guy up and going and running, you know. And
well, the last thing you want him to do is to wave the guitar off in the middle of the tune. It's not going to work, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, Paul, where did the headstock shape come from?
Good. 50 redraws. You saw us go through that process. There were so many different headstock shapes. We hired professional companies to take shots at it. We took shots at it, and we finally ended up with that one because it had the thing here to get out of the way of his hand, and it also had the stay in tune thing that PRS has had, and it also has our scoop on it, and it's a little different but the same. It took a long, as you know, you watched that whole process, that took a long time, and there were some fairly good ones, there were some ugly attempts, and we ended up with that one.
I ended up with this one here. Looks great.
Are you okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's great.
So we spent a lot of time, Rene, on the round over
Right.
in this section and how the fretboard's rounded over and how the frets feel, so that it feels like a really good refret, because most of these old guitars have been refretted, as you know.
Yes.
Is that all good as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think what you got here is a guitar that feels like it's supposed to be feeling right after you've done a refret.
Right.
And because it's clean, it feels comfortable, and there's nothing here that's bugging me, or it feels like it's, too much gone, whatever. It's just perfect as far as the way you got it set here, And if all these guitars are going to come out like this,
That's one right off the line.
well, there you go.
Let's talk about the strap buttons for a second. Those are string trees off an old bass.
Okay.
Think about it.
Right.
Going to the D and the G string going underneath. The reason they're on there is because that's what I had on my bench.
Right.
And very, very often I would get a repair because the strap had come off, the guitar had dropped, the headstock had broken off, and there was a headstock broken off, and I had to do the repair, as you've done plenty of headstock reblues, right? So I didn't want to have to put strap locks on the guitar for the guitar to be secure, and I thought that these old string trees worked really well. They've been on our guitars forever, but that's what those are.
That's what these are. There you go.
There's a huge sheet metal screw that goes way up into the guitar, so there's no chance of it coming out.
No way for it to come out at all. Yeah, and it's not going to.
It's not going anywhere.
Not with all the ones that John has. No way. Yep, string trees.
Is he using these live, or is he using strap locks?
No strap locks. We're using these live.
Using these live. All right, great.
Yep, don't come off.
So, from our world, Rene, we see guitars as lack of problems. If you've got everything on the guitar right, but the third fret's in the wrong place, you got a problem,
You got a
right?
problem.
If the guitar's all right except the fret edges are too sharp, you got a problem. If everything's great but the middle pickup doesn't sound good, you got a problem. To us, it's about making sure every single little part is okay.
Right.
And John's meticulousness and your meticulousness about making sure we get all these details right has been challenging, but very, very, I learned so much doing this. I'll give you an interesting thing about the bone nut. We had to figure out how to glue those things in so all the gaps underneath were filled. And we finally decided to use hide glue because we had enough setup time to get it up in the place. And if we didn't super glue it in, which we usually use on the other stuff, there was no chance if somebody needed to change the nut of the piece on the back snapping out, which happens.
Right.
And so that thing's put in with hide glue, and it gets crystalline and it holds really well. I mean, those little kind of details make a difference to us. But
super detail. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hide glue. I've been working with hide glue since I started in this business. It's the glue of glues. So
send the horse to the glue factory.
See, there's something you don't know. Learn something new. Cool.
Go.
Well, there you go. It's all there.
Well, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing me up and showing me everything, and thanks for letting me do this.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
This feels great.
It's an honor to have him here. Rene Martinez is at PRS Guitars. What an honor. Thanks for coming so much.
Thanks, Paul.
All right.